Well, today I'm going to talk about how and when we water our plants. One of you suggested that I talk about it, and that is what I am going to do today. Well, if you have just recently joined the family, and of course those who may come across this video, my name is Lois, and welcome to my YouTube channel. We are all about urban farming, although every now and then we venture into other things. I'll start by talking about when we should water our plants. Well, that depends on where the plant is. Is it on ground? Is it in a container? Is it outside? Is it inside? Or any form of shade? So that will determine the frequency with which the plant is watered. So when you water your plants also depends on the time of day. We recommend you to water your plants early in the morning or late in the evening or both, depending on the season. There are times that is really hot and you need to water twice a day, and there are those times that are not really hot and you can just water either of the times, either in the morning or in the evening. The reason why your plants die is because the soil is already heated up. So when you pour water in that particular soil, it's going to heat up and boil up and then of course kill the plant. So please, let's learn to water our plants at the appropriate times. We shall deal with that individually later on, but let me talk about how we should water our plants. So the how will depend on how big our garden is and also what materials we have available to us. So that brings us back to affordability and availability. In my garden, I use a hose pipe to water the entire gardens, but I also use a watering can as well as a cup, depending on what I am watering at a particular time. And of course, those of you who can afford drip irrigation and other irrigation methods, that works as well. But in this channel, we look at affordability and availability of materials used so that everybody is able to do this. So that's why I am focused on using the available materials that we have or those that we can afford. Okay, so yeah. So normally I use a cup like this when I'm watering a container in which I've just planted my seeds. Okay, I don't need a watering can or a pipe for that since it is very small. So I simply use this. So when I do that, I put my hands like this. Why am I doing that? So that there is even distribution of water all over the container and also to reduce the pressure with which it hits the soil. Otherwise, it may end up digging out the seeds and of course you may end up overwatering it. So yeah, that is how I do with just a container in which I have planted a few seeds. So please, when you're watering, don't do this. On the other hand, I usually use a watering can if I just have a bed or a few containers that I need to water. So this is what I do. Guys, you have to be very careful with the pressure with which the water hits the soil because the same pressure may also destroy your seedlings or your plant. Okay, I think you may have noticed if you water with so much pressure, you find all the plants lying down and you may end up killing your plants. When I'm watering a larger area of the garden or the entire garden, I use a hose pipe. So I don't have a nozzle. Most people have that to control the pressure with which it sprays. But I don't have that. So I am going to show you how I do it. So guys, look at my finger. It is on the pipe, okay? It is trying to control the pressure of the water. Otherwise, it may just hit the soil like this and that may destroy your seedling or plant, okay? But when you do like this, you control it like this, then it hits the plant like rain water. Be careful when you do it though, because it might also be very sharp like this, and that will even destroy the plant more. So yeah, watch out the pressure of the water. For those plants in containers, you just have to touch them or even look at them to determine whether or not they need more water. Sometimes depending on the type of soil that you have in that particular container, there may be still water in there. So beware, because if we overwater, then we encourage root rot that will kill our plants. So let's be very vigilant. We water at the right time and we water the right amounts. And of course, we water depending on where the plant is. That is the frequency with which we water should vary um, when it comes to house plants or shade plants with those outside. Please be very vigilant, especially those that are inside. You just need to water seldomly. You don't need to water all the time like we do outside because, of course, we have a lot of evaporation happening with those outside than inside. So be very careful not to water your houseplants often. Just check if they need the water and then give them the water. Otherwise, you may kill your plant when you're actually taking good care of them. They say sometimes we overlove our plants and then we smother them and eventually they just die. It is important to neglect them a little bit. That's what a lady that I and my sister and I visited once, she told us that some plants uh, thrive. She told us that some plants thrive when you neglect them. Not necessarily neglecting, but leave them alone. Okay, don't give them water when they don't need water. Don't give them fertilizers when they need it. I know some of you have a few plants in your balconies, and sometimes when you travel, you wonder how to keep them hydrated and then to water them. So instead of struggling to find someone who can do that while you're away, you can employ a simple irrigation method by using this. Okay, it is our cheap version of drip irrigation, but it helps when you're away for a few days. You can just poke a hole here. Please make sure it is a small hole, not very small, but small. Okay, fill this with water, close it, and insert this in that particular container, insert it in the soil next to that plant. And of course, the water is going to slowly drip in and keep your plant hydrated. So you don't have to look for someone to come around to help you water while you're away. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the video. And please, if you have, don't hesitate to leave me a like and also subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell as well so that you're notified whenever I post a video on here. Okay? Otherwise, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you. Goodbye.